So what I'm going to do is start off here is I'm just going to start with my paper, and I know this is a lot bigger than what can fit into my camera view here, but I want to start by just first folding my paper in half. And this can be a good chance for you if you've hand cut your paper. This can be a great chance for you to trim up your paper to make sure that none of the edges are longer on one side than on the other, or any of those kinds of things are going on. I'm going to try my best to keep everything nice and lined up here. I'm going to get a good crease too as you go. Now when you do this double kind of papering of things, everything of course gets a little bit harder because it's thicker, but you don't really need to worry too much about it because this particular project's paper folds are not that complicated, so I wouldn't be too worried about it, but we do want to take our time. Once you get a couple of the creases going, it goes a lot easier because you've got everything kind of stuck together with the creases. So I've got fold in half both ways. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that you've got that edge crease on the bottom and your open flaps at the top. I'm just going to take one of the sides here and fold towards the center that I've made. And this doesn't have to be exact, we just want to kind of line it up. And the goal is to just keep things straight, of course, as much as we can. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side too. So I've got both sides folded into the center. Then I'm going to open up these pockets. Now there's two layers here, of course. So I'm going to open up to that lighter blue and let it smoosh down. Get a good crease on both of those sides. And I'm going to repeat that step over here on this side as well. Make sure you get both of those layers included when you do this. So we've got both of those kind of smushed out. Then I'm going to take this whole flap area here, and what I want to do is fold it and tuck it inside so that it gets even with these edges. And what helps sometimes is to first just focus on getting it rolled over, especially since we're dealing with lots of layers of paper here. You want to try your best to get a nice clean edge right here. And then we can worry about getting it tucked behind into that little space there. Get a good crease on all that so that it's tucked inside, and then it can lay flat again here. Go ahead and flip it over. And then I'm going to take these outer edges and fold now into the center again. Now there's a little bit of kind of a crease edge there that's kind of preventing it from coming all the way over to the edge. Try your best to give it a little tug and get it as close to the edge as you can. Make a good solid crease there. Then let's do the same thing going this way too. And since you do have the two layers, try to keep everything from kind of poofing out weird if you can. To get both of those pulled here over into the center a little bit. So we have something like this. And then from that, I'm going to go ahead and take these outer edges here and fold them back out. Good crease there. Do the same thing on this side too. So we have something like this. Now I'm going to take the whole corner here and roll it over and fold it over to the edge so that you see a little bit of that blue. And I'll do the same thing on this side too. And then I'm just going to take this layer that you see here open it out, keeping that part tucked underneath and letting it lay flat. Do the same thing on this side too, keeping that part tucked down too, so that we get something like this. Then if we go ahead and open everything up here, I'm going to take that little triangular section that was there and we're just going to reverse it in. Keep that tucked away. And I'll do the same thing over on this side too. Just be careful with everything here. I'm using with that one paper, the blue paper, it's a really fibrous kind of handmade paper. And if you do too many creases on it, little fuzz balls kind of come off on it. So you want to just kind of be careful you're not like totally destroying your paper after crease after crease after crease. But so I've got all that kind of tucked away. Now the next little thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this from where this crease is. I'm going to tuck it behind, and I want to include, I don't want to just go right into this pocket, I want to go behind that little section there. So you're just going to work with your creases here. And most of it should go pretty smooth. It's just this part up here in the corner that you want to make sure you're getting fully tucked behind and including then into that spot so that it gets secured well. Do the same thing on this side too. Just keep everything included when you make this crease. So that you wind up with something when it smooths out. You'll make sure all that gets tucked in there really nice and smooth into those corners. You want to get something that looks like this. And then if we just take everything and flip it over for a second, and I'm just going to fold it down on this smooth edge here. Try to get that as smooth as you can. And that should give you your completed little wallet. Now you can see how using that extra layer kind of added this pretty kind of accent of color here along the edge. And if you wanted to, you could, because of the extra paper here, this is the only time you really can notice that there's this part where the paper is separated from itself. And so if you wanted to, you could put just a little bit of glue in there to kind of keep those layers together. Let's see here if I can kind of, my glue stick is way too big. Or you can use some double-sided tape, something like that would work good too. But just to kind of keep things sort of secured there. And then as an alternative, if you wanted to make kind of a completed clasp for this, you can use some of these like little, I have these little magnets that work pretty cool. You can also use, there's so many different ways you can do it. You could put a cute little button and secure it with ribbon and button system if you wanted to there. You could use Velcro too if your paper is a little bit thicker. This is a pretty thin kind of paper, so total. You can use this technique though with fabric too, because the folds in this are pretty simple. If you just take your iron and use some paper fabric to make this kind of a wallet, then you'll still get a really nice little pocket here to keep things in. And you also have these little tabs in the back to keep things too, if you wanted to. So, but if, like I was saying, I have these little guys here, I can go ahead and put one, for example, right here. And then just to make sure you're getting it right, you can kind of have them stuck together first here and then close it so that you get it in the right place there of how far it can go. But then you can have a little simple closure for your wallet. I'll secure down there for you. Keep it closed. Kind of a quick and simple way to make a little wallet. And like I said, it does hold, let's see here, I've got money here. I look like I'm so rich. I'm really not. We've got all this money here, and you could just slide that right in. And like I said, it is deeper than maybe it needs to be. For yen, it stands pretty nice because you do get a good, nice, fair amount of room around the edges, so it's not a super tight hold. But if you were wanting to make something a little bit more slender, you probably need to adjust things a little bit. But I can kind of give you a nice little finished off closure for your finished wallet. And this little guy, in terms of dimensions, let's see here, he winds up being about, I'll get my big ruler, I can't measure it with my small one without needing to double up. It's about half of whatever you started with. So mine's about 17.5, which is half of the dimensions of what I started with. So that's always nice and convenient, because then you can kind of do quick math in your head. It's not any complicated stuff. So it's about 17.5 centimeters wide, and then half of that is about how tall it stands here. So that's about 9, a little shy of 9, but. So if you've got like special kinds of gift certificates, if you've got a pretty wedding invitation, any of those kinds of things, and you want to try to make a really pretty special kind of container for that, whether it be for money, for, like I said, special coupons, special gift certificates, this kind of a wallet is really simple and fun to make, and you get a really pretty finish. I love making these with Christmas wrapping paper, because Christmas wrapping paper is just so pretty, and I love making one for when I go shopping and stuff to kind of get into the Christmas spirit, because I personally would never buy a Christmas wallet, you know, that's weird. No, I'm kidding, but walking around with one that I've made of origami is totally cool, right? No. So that kind of gives you guys the finished little kind of take on the handbag or wallet that we did a while ago with the new dimensions and using some fancy paper to make it look pretty. So thank you guys always so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!